Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to King RNG Legacy. We're doing something a little different today. I'm stepping away from Dynasty and Road to Glory for a little bit because playoff season is right around the corner. So I wanted to see what would happen if we put the same playoff matchups into College Football 26 and simulate some games. Now, I am going to do series with these matchups instead of just single games, just because it seems like it would be more accurate. I mean, you're probably going to get the same result, but for some of the closer seeded teams, I think having more games played will give a more accurate result. So we're going to do NBA playoff style, best of 7, home, away, home. If you need more than that, it'll alternate. So if you don't know what the bracket looks like, if that's how that seeding works, go take a look at that. I'll probably flash it on the screen here though. But we're going to dive right into this, and I think the best place to start is probably going to be Oregon versus James Madison. So let's get right into it. All right, we're ready to kick off the first game, JMU at Oregon. This is going to be the settings for all of the games for this simulation in order to keep consistency. I am putting the weather at random. I think I'm going to keep the time consistent too, just because that makes sense. 6 p.m. Doesn't matter. It's all numbers. But the weather being random could potentially change the outcome. Also, it's technically still random in real life. So we're going to go with these settings for all of these games, and we're going to kick into this first one here. Let's see how exciting it gets. It's just going to be a simulation. We'll skip right to the end results and see how it panned out. But it's feeling Oregon. James Madison certainly has a shot, but it's going to be a close one for sure. Okay, into the first. Certainly a lot closer than I think we expected in game one. Oregon's starting to pull it out, and their defense is certainly holding on. Oh, Oregon's starting to pull it out, I think. And game one is going to be solidly taken by Oregon, 34-6. James Madison had a few drives in there where they were doing some work, but they just couldn't finish. So Oregon's going to take game one. We're going to come back to Eugene for game two. All right, game two. Skip ahead. We go next quarter. Ooh, this is a tight matchup. Ooh. End of the first. Tied 3-3. James Madison could pull off an upset here. James Madison's up at halftime in game two. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, they tie it up. James Madison goes on a long drive. Oh, Oregon takes the lead though. Okay, we're gonna go possession by possession because it's easier. James Madison gets a field goal, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough. Oregon doesn't get anything. They go 3 and out. James Madison gets it back. Ooh. This is a tough one. Oh, they go 3 and out. So things aren't going well for either team, frankly, right now. I'll change the position. Oh, Oregon. Oh man. This one's tight. Oregon, frankly, doesn't need to do anything right now. They got 9 minutes that they just need to burn. But you'd like to get a little bit more insurance on... Oh, there it is. There's the insurance. So now they're up 8. So technically still one possession, but it's going to be a tough possession for sure. James Madison needs to do something with it, though. If they're gonna get anything out of this. We're just going to go play by play because it's faster. Okay, 3 and out from Oregon. They're going to punt back to JMU. They are also going to go 3 and out. And they're going to punt it back. Oregon's starting to drive. Ooh, they get a first down. 2nd and 11, 3rd and 12. And that was the game. And I meant to close out. I got a little too wrapped up. But Oregon takes game 2 a lot tighter than the first one was. So Oregon's currently got a 2-0 lead, but you know that's not safe, and we're going to wherever James Madison is now. So the series is still up for grabs, and I think that game is a really good that's evidence as to why I'm doing this in the first place. The 12 seed took the 5 seed essentially deep into the fourth quarter because it was a one point game, and it ended up being a 1-score game. So you never really know with these, but we're going to James Madison now for game 3. All right, game 3, and this is what I'm talking about. It's snowing wherever this is. I should look it up because I don't actually know, but I want to say Blacksburg, but I know that's Virginia Tech, somewhere in Virginia. James Madison snow game, just like the Sun Belt Championship that they won this year, but this time it's against Oregon. So Oregon's got a 2-0 lead in this playoff race. We'll have to see if the Dukes got it in them. See if they got that dog in them. Ooh, another tight one. Ooh, at the end of one, it's 3-all. Didn't mean to do that. Oregon scores. Ooh, James Madison takes the lead. Once again, James Madison has the lead going into halftime, this time 10-6. Let's see if they can pull it out. This is a lot more exciting than I thought it would be. James Madison up. They score! Oh, and they don't get the 2. Going into the fourth, it's 15-17. We're just going to start with change of possession. Oh, Oregon gets a field goal to start us off. They're now up 1 with 12 minutes left to play, 11 minutes left to play. And they get, is that a touchdown? They got a touchdown. So now up 8. It's looking like game 2 all over again. JMU has to kick the ball. Man, you can't win games when you give up big conversions like that. 4th down. Oregon, oh no, they kicked it. Okay. 3rd and 6. Get a first down. It's still a 1-score game. They got 4 minutes left. They're driving. They're giving a little bit of, ooh, a sack right there is not what you want to see. And they have to punt it away. 3 minutes left. Oregon can kill some clock. They can't get the first down though. We're gonna go on the 2-minute warning, the 2-minute timeout. Down 8. Ooh, and they got a minute left, and they're still on their side of the field. Oh, that's not gonna do it. An incomplete pass on 4th down, trying to drive against the Oregon defense, is gonna put this game out of reach. Oregon's gonna take it. They're up 3-0. We're coming back to James Madison for game 4, but it's not looking good for the Dukes. The last 2 have been tight. The first one they got blown out. It was 34-6. But these last 2 have been 1-score games. It could have been anybody's. I feel like this was their shot in the snow. Game 4, going back to James Madison again. Oregon's got a tight lead, 3-0. Can the Dukes bounce back and take this? At this point, they would have to reverse sweep. So I don't know. This isn't the real James Madison. They don't have the heart and soul. They don't have the Sun Belt Championship in this version, but I mean, it's the same players, so it's interesting to say the least. I didn't expect it to get that dicey for Oregon. They trailed at halftime for both of game 2 and 3. They completely dominated game 1, but they were trailing at halftime for game 3. Okay, take a quick early. Oh, we're gonna do a game 1 all over again. Oregon takes a 21-0 lead into the second quarter. It's not looking good. It looks like the Dukes have lost their bite, as it were. Ooh, I think this is the game that people are expecting to happen in real life. Oregon is up 35-0 at halftime, which is a tough pill. That's a tough one. 35-3. Going into the fourth with 35-3. It's not looking great. 35-10, 42-10, 45-10, 45-17. They gave it a little bit of kick there at the end, but final score is going to be 45-17. James Madison only scored in the second half, but unfortunately, it was too little too late, and that's going to be the sweep. Oregon's going to take the first round 4-0. Pretty easy sweep, honestly. Games 2 and 3 looked kind of interesting, but I think Oregon overpowered them pretty severely. And is this a prediction of, well, it is a prediction, but is this what's going to happen in real life? Who knows? It's probably going to be similar to this game, except in Autzen Stadium. But I mean, I think the Dukes are going to show up. I just don't know if they're going to be enough, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, 4-0 sweep, and James Madison is eliminated from their first playoff appearance, which is a little too bad. Alrighty, next matchup, Oklahoma versus Alabama. This is battle of the SEC. It's you know, the 8 and 9, so I'm kind of hoping that this goes to past game 4. I'm hoping this is a closer matchup than what we just saw with Oregon, but only time will tell, and it's time to get into it. Okay, game 1 of the Alabama-Oklahoma showcase. Play like a champion today. Who do you guys think is going to win this matchup? I think it's a pretty tight matchup, frankly. I mean, Alabama did not look good from my perspective. I'm not a professional at all, but from my perspective, Alabama didn't look very good when these two teams played in the regular season. But I don't know that Oklahoma really did either. Their defense certainly did. Okay. Ooh, Oklahoma takes a quick early lead. Ooh. Very solidly going in the second quarter, up 14-0. It's another defensive showing, it looks like. Nope, never mind. Oklahoma's turning on the Jets. Wow, Alabama's not looking good in this game right now. I don't know if it's purely turnovers. Alabama's fighting back. Ooh, this game got tight. All right, going into the fourth quarter, tied at 24. Who do you think's going to win? Put it in the comments down below. Let's see if we can predict something here. We're going to go next quarter. I'm going to hope that I back out in time. Oklahoma kicks a field goal. Alabama kicks a field goal. Ooh, okay. Okay. Alabama, ooh. That's not good. Alabama's down 7. Oklahoma takes over. They're not able to move the ball either. They go 3 and out, kick it back to Alabama. Okay. Alabama went into the 2-minute warning. Ooh, they get sacked. Okay, so it's looking like it's going to be Oklahoma for the win here. Clock's still running. They might lose this on game management. Oh, he finds a receiver in the end zone. That's a touchdown. Alabama with 11 seconds left. I'm wrong, apparently. That's all they needed. Well, they still need the PAT to tie it up. Oklahoma lets a score in late. Alabama has a chance to tie it up right here. Take it to overtime. And he makes it. So, pending a crazy kickoff return, this is probably going to overtime. End of regulation. 34-all. We're going into Cheez-It crunch time. This is game 1, folks. This is what college football is all about. These kind of matchups. I've never simulated in overtime before. Oh, first overtime. Oklahoma's going to score. So it's just going to go because overtime's its own period. I think it is. Alabama's fighting from behind right now. Ooh, oh no. 4th down. 20-yard reception to get to 1st and goal. Good pass breakup on 1st down. Unnecessary roughness on 2nd down. That's going to be a 1-yard rush from Ryan Williams to tie it up. We're going into double overtime, baby. Alabama gets first possession. They are not able to make much room, and they are going to kick a field goal. Oklahoma's going to take over. They're going to get a full start on the first play. And then a holding penalty from the same guy. Oh, no. They're shooting themselves in the foot. Alabama might take this. Ooh, defensive pass interference. That gives them a first down. As a holding penalty. That's not good. Gotta get back in the field goal range, I feel like, at this point, because it doesn't seem like... Yeah, you get back in the field goal range, you're going to kick the field goal. So we're going to the third overtime, which is kind of what I expected, actually. 2-point conversion failed. Oh, no! Alabama steals it! Alabama's going to take this first game of the first round. Oklahoma owned this game up until, like, the halfway through the third quarter. And then Alabama started finding their footing, and they just fell apart. They took them to 3. It's a really solid game from Oklahoma. But look at that. Look, Oklahoma was up 21-3 going into halftime, and then Alabama scored 21 points in the third quarter to Oklahoma's 3, putting it 24 all, and then 10 points each in the fourth. That longer than it should have been drive. Pretty much the whole 2 minutes from the 2-minute timeout for Alabama to get into the end zone. Man, that was wild stuff. That was crazy. We got a snow game for game 2 here in Norman. Alabama took game 1. It's anybody's game right now. I mean, that one went to triple overtime. I kind of expect at least 1 or 2 more to go to triple overtime. I'm expecting game 7. This is the 8-9 for Pete's sake. Like, I mean, this might be the best matchup we see in the first round. I'm looking at I've got the bracket over there, so that's why I keep glancing over there. This might be the first matchup in the best matchup in the first round, though Texas A&M and Miami is also a pretty solid one. And ultimately, I think, honestly, the Oregon JMU one was pretty exciting. This is going to be great. This is going to be good stuff. This is going to be good fun. Ooh, Alabama gets off to the quick lead this time. Alabama takes a 3-0 lead in the second quarter. 6-0. Oklahoma's got to string something together. It's a defensive battle. Going into halftime, it's 12-3. Alabama wants this more, apparently. Ooh, a safety. Ooh, okay. Wow, we got some crazy stuff going on here. It's 17-11 going into the fourth quarter. There was a safety in there, a touchdown with a 2-point conversion. We got some crazy stuff. Hopefully this isn't too quick. Oklahoma scores. They go up 18-17, 23. Oh, Alabama gets 2 of them. Alabama takes it in the snow in Norman. Alabama is going to take that game with a 16-point fourth quarter to steal game 2. I mean, they're the lower seed. That's why I say steal. Technically, that's an upset. But man, oh man, is this tight? Like, oh goodness. Oklahoma had all the chances there. Well, no, they didn't. They came out really cold, but then they got that 18-17 lead there in the fourth, and then the wagons fell off and they weren't able to capitalize, I guess. It's hard to really say what went wrong when I'm not watching it, but just watching the stuff go by. But I mean, that's football. That's what happens. Alabama up 2-0. Alabama takes both of the away games. Now we're headed into Tuscaloosa with a 2-0 lead. All they got to do is take both home games at this point, and they've got their berth into the second round, and they will face Indiana. We already got Oregon going up against Texas Tech. Let's see if Alabama can cement their place in this college football playoff. Maybe prove some of the haters wrong, because I think a lot of people didn't expect Alabama to... Well, I think a lot of people did expect Alabama to make it, but a lot of people are upset that Alabama is in there. So, clear skies. It's looking like a good day for football. Let's see what happens. Ooh, okay. Oklahoma got out to a pretty good start. They're up 13-17 going into the second. Alabama's fighting back. This is a tough fight. Alabama's got all the momentum going into halftime. It's 21-16 Alabama. Oklahoma's still in it, but it feels like they're losing ground. They get a field goal out of that drive. They get a touchdown off of that one. Ooh, they got a field goal. Was that? No, that wasn't it. Okay, end of the third. It's 29-27 in favor of Oklahoma. They've switched it. They've swung the tide. Let's see how they handle this fourth quarter, because this is where it's going to come down to this quarter here. Alabama is up 4. They're running clock. Oklahoma, one last chance, and I saw it. Oklahoma steals it away from Alabama. Game 3 goes to the Sooners, and they put it at a 2-1 deficit now. So they get tied up in the next one, Tuscaloosa. Either way, we got to go back to Norman. Honestly, I might even consider that one an upset, because Alabama had tons of momentum going into the third quarter, and then Oklahoma just turned it on its head. Now Oklahoma had a good chunk of lead in the first half, so that was pretty good flip-floppy wise. And that's just how it crumbles sometimes. Like, these are two good teams in simulation, and they're certainly putting up more points than I think I expected them to. They've been tighter games. I guess that part I expected, but more points. It's not been as much of a defensive holdout as I expected. But, when you have good players playing good football, it's going to be good scores. Oklahoma has a chance to crawl back into this thing and make things interesting. They are down 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. Alabama is keeping the shutout alive. They are up 17-0 going into halftime. That's crazy. After fighting back to take it to game 5, Oklahoma is putting up a pitiful showing. They are getting shut out here in Tuscaloosa. It is 27-0 for Alabama going into the fourth quarter. And they scored. Oklahoma still has a chance technically. Now they don't. It's over. Okay, game 4 goes to Alabama. They are being ruthless. They take a 34-7 walloping of Oklahoma, put it in the bank. We're going back to Norman for game 5 because Oklahoma forced it, but by golly, they got a reverse sweep now, and I don't think I'm seeing the fight here, buds. Yeah, I did not expect this series to go this way. Oklahoma had some really tough games in the first 2, and then obviously won the third one. But game 4 did not look good for the Sooners. And this matchup being how it is, seeded how it is, I think even overalls in the game are pretty similar. Like, this has not gone how I thought it would. Hopefully, there's another series somewhere in this mix that is a bit more tight. I thought this was going to be the tightest one, but maybe it'll be, I don't know, Miami and Ohio State or something. Maybe it's Texas A&M and Miami. I guess we'll find out. But Sooners have kind of one last chance to stay in this thing, because if they don't win this game, it's win or go home. Alabama's got a 3-1 lead. They're commanding this series right now. And let's see if the home field advantage does something for the Sooners. They get 3 out of the first drive, and then they stall again. It's 3-0 going into the second. Ooh, okay. Oklahoma has lost their spot. Alabama surged back. Halftime is 14-13. Still a tight game and still winnable for Oklahoma. But by golly, they got to figure something out. It's a good thing that this isn't real, because I feel like these kind of matchups, like this series, I feel like would be incredibly demoralizing. Maybe that's just me as a person, but to go down 3-1, that's just hard to fight back from that, man. I don't know, but it's tied going into the fourth. So let's see what happens. Oklahoma takes a 3-point lead. Oklahoma's holding on to the 3-point lead, but Alabama scores. Alabama takes the 3-point lead. Alabama's going to win game 5 and the series. That's a 4-1. I would say sweep, but technically it's not a sweep. But Alabama takes the series. They will face Indiana in the second round. Flipping over to the other side of the bracket for this one, we got the 7 seed Texas A&M Aggies versus the 10 seed Miami Hurricanes. We're starting in College Station, best of 7 again. I also think this is going to be a pretty good matchup, just kind of based on vibes more than anything else. But I'm trying to even decide who I want to win this thing. I think I'm going to say Texas A&M, but that's the SEC, and I don't like the SEC. So both teams have a lot to prove in this situation. Texas A&M has the opportunity to prove that they deserve their spot and that they are a good team. They lost to Texas late in the season, so it lost a bit of their drive there, and Miami has to prove that they belong in the equation. I'm not feeling really too much momentum pushing either way. It's 7-3 in favor of Miami at the end of the first. Certainly feels like Miami could take this one. Yeah, okay. Miami's starting to pull away a little bit. Going into halftime is going to be 20-9 in favor of the Hurricanes. They scored 13 points to just 6 from the Aggies. It's kind of disappointing to see your team go down this hard in the first round of the playoffs in a home game. There was an injury there. Only 6 points scored in that round, and it was all Miami. So, going into the fourth, 26-9. See what happens. It's still winnable for A&M. Oh, and they were in position. They get a field goal on the next drive. That's too little too late, folks. Miami's going to win game 1 of this series 29-12. Just not enough coming out of the Aggies there. All they got was field goals. They didn't get a single touchdown. And the Hurricanes hold strong, and they take away game 1 on the road. Really solid win for Miami. Just like last time, let me know in the comments down below who you think is going to pull out the win. Miami's got a 1-game lead, but we've only played 1. So it's still an open series for whoever wants to take it right now. Ooh, quick early score from A&M. Ooh, and there's another one. Puts them up at 10-0. See, I told you, they're still in this thing. They still want to win it. They're doing what Miami did, or what Alabama did, I suppose, in the last series. Yeah, 24-0 going into halftime. Somebody's dominating. It's not Miami right now. Holy cow. Okay, 38-0 going into the fourth quarter. The Hurricanes didn't show up for this one, it looks like. 45-0, 45-3, 45-6, 45-13 is going to be your final score. Texas A&M just walloped on them in that one. Miami only scored in the fourth. So that just proves how quickly this thing can switch. This is the matchup. This one's going to 7. All right, game 3 in the series, game 1 in Miami. This thing's tied. It can go either way right now. Let's get after it. Texas A&M comes out swinging again. It's only a field goal, so first half ends a lot like game 1 did. 7-3 Miami. Texas A&M scores pretty quickly. Miami scores also. It's 14-13 going into halftime again, which is the score during game 1. So, art's imitating life right now. Texas A&M. Okay, 17-16, still anybody's ball game. This one's to take the lead in the series, which is already going back to College Station at least. Texas A&M. Ooh, and it looks like the Aggies hold on. Yep, they do. The Aggies hold on, 26-24. Another tight one. Here comes the reverse sweep, I guess. Texas A&M takes a 2-1 lead after losing game 1. They're back in the driver's seat for this series. Game 4 we got in Hard Rock Stadium. Hurricanes look like they're ready to play. Man, wow. Okay, Miami gets off pretty strong start. They're up 10-0. Texas A&M. Texas A&M has at times been very slow on the offensive side of the ball, and it's hard to win games when that's the case. All right, Miami takes a 17-10 lead into halftime. This series is looking really tight, really good. 24-10. Okay, Miami's starting to run away with it. It's 27-10 going into the fourth. It's still not over. It's only 17 points. It's 3 possessions, but there's a whole quarter ahead. So, okay, and right off the bat, oh, okay. It's still winnable. Okay, it's kind of gotten away from them. Yeah, okay. Miami's going to take game 4, and that's going to even up the series. This is a really good series, and somebody's got to win. And I guess we'll find out who here pretty soon. Alrighty, tied at 2. There's a lot on the line here. Any loss can put you completely out of this thing. At the same time, a win doesn't guarantee victory. It's kind of a weird situation that both teams are in. Texas A&M scores pretty quickly. They end the quarter up 7-0. It's like the reverse of game 1 and 3. Texas A&M is now up 10-7 going into halftime. It's pretty tight game so far. There's barely any wiggle room right now. There's a lot of drives that are getting to the other side of the field and then stalling. It's 10-7 still at the end of the third. Let's see what happens. Miami's still not able to get anything strung together. Texas A&M Texas A&M scores again. They take a 24-7 lead with like 3 minutes left, and they take that sucker into the end. Texas A&M takes game 5. They're up 3-2 to Miami Hurricanes. And suddenly, just like that, every game is an elimination game now. Texas A&M has the leg up. They win this, they're moving on. Miami can take it to 7 if they win here. We'll see what happens. It's a tough spot to be in, I gotta be honest. I do not envy these simulated players right now. Okay, low scoring first quarter. It's 3-0 in favor of Miami. Okay, there we go. We're getting it started. Ooh, Texas A&M is starting to take over a little bit. It's 13-10 going into halftime in favor of the Aggies. Miami's still in this. This game is far from over, but it seems like momentum has swung to Texas A&M. It's tied up. Ooh, Miami takes the lead. Ooh, going into the fourth, Miami has a 20-13 lead over Texas A&M. So we're looking like game 7 right now. Let's see what happens. Final quarter of regulation. Oh, Texas A&M tied it up. Still tied at 20, 23. And Miami is going to take game 6 to force the 7th in College Station. Miami wins 23-20. We're going back to Texas A&M, baby. I knew that this series was going to be tough. They're both pretty evenly matched. It's going to be... At this point, I have no idea who's going to win this thing, because both of them have felt command over this series throughout each of their... Like, every game. At some point, one team's on top, and then suddenly it flips. Like, I thought Texas A&M was going to take this one. I thought we were done. I thought Game 7 was going to happen. But it is. We're going back to Game 7. This one's for all the breadcrumbs. This one's for a chance to advance in the playoff, take on Ohio State, and prove your spot at the table. I think I know who I want to win, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it. Okay, Miami takes a 3-0 lead into the second quarter. I went through the third and fourth in my head, on my tongue, before I actually said second. Ooh, Texas A&M. They're 10 unanswered right now. They're 10-3 going into halftime. They're making a good show. 10-17, 20-10. Okay, going into the fourth. Texas A&M has a 10-point lead for a chance to play in the national championship. They still got to get through two more series after this, but for a chance to play Ohio State for a spot in the semifinal, right? Yeah, in the semifinal, it's time for quarter 4 of Game 7. Okay, Miami's starting a bit of a drive here. It's 4th and 1. They don't. Oh no, they kicked the field goal, but they didn't make it. Texas A&M takes over on their 40. Ooh, oh, it's an interception. Miami takes over. Ooh, big rush from Jordan Lyle. Miami's in scoring position. See if they can pull it off. It's looking like another field goal. They get another field goal, but that puts them only down 7, and there's 10 minutes left, so it's still winnable. Texas A&M is starting to drive a little bit. Ooh, a sack from Akeem Messidor. And they're going to stall. Punt it away. Ooh. Oh, a penalty. Thought that was also a sack. Miami's going to get a first down. They're starting to drive. They got 7 minutes left. Ooh, holding penalty. Ooh, negative 2-yard rush. Miami stalls on their side of the field. They got to punt it away. Texas A&M takes over around midfield and off the bat, 25-yard reception. And they're starting to drive. They are in the red zone. A negative 3-yard rush pushes them to the edge of the red zone, but they're still here in the red zone. They don't get anything done, but they burn some clock. And they're going to kick a field goal, and they're going to make it. They're up 23-13. 10-point game still, but there's 3 minutes left. It's getting dicey. If the Hurricanes want to win this thing, they got to ball out right now. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it either. 4th and 16. I feel like you go for this here, right? They do, and it didn't work. Aggies take over on their 20, and they're going to be able to... They can't kill all of the clock, but they go up 26-13. Texas A&M takes Game 7. I kind of wish it was a bit more exciting, like there was actually some stakes on this, but since it's not a bowl game, it's just like an exhibition, so they don't really treat it like there's any stakes, which is kind of disappointing, but that's okay. Texas A&M takes Game 7 and takes the series. Pretty solid, convincing win in the end there. Most of those games were really tight, but Texas A&M is going to be playing Ohio State in the second round. Game 1, Ole Miss versus Tulane. I still think this could be an interesting series. I don't think it'll be a sweep. We'll find out, but I don't think it'll be a sweep. Let me know down below what you think's going to happen. Is Tulane going to win this? Is it going to go to Game 5? Is it going to go to Game 6? Is Ole Miss going to just sweep them? Hopefully that doesn't happen because that's not as entertaining. Okay. Tulane's feeling the underdog spirit right now. They're up 14-0 going into the second quarter. All right. Going into halftime, Tulane is up 28-3. Gotta be honest, y'all. I didn't think it would be quite this much of a beatdown. 35-3, 38-3. That's the end of the third. But Tulane there's 15 minutes left, so it's still anybody's game. Now it's not. That's game over, folks. Tulane puts up an astounding 59 points against Ole Miss and only allows 10 for a Game 1 upset against the Rebels. The green wave is rolling, dudes. I didn't expect that. Tulane takes game 1 in Oxford. I still hope it doesn't go. I love upsets. I'm all down for this. I just wasn't expecting it. That's my only thing. So, yeah, wow, just utter dominance. They only allowed 3 points in the first half. Game 1 goes to Tulane, I guess. Man, you can't script that. I mean, you could, but why would you? Okay, kind of hoping Ole Miss has an answer for this. If they win here, we're definitely going to game 5. And this is tighter than I think a lot of people would have expected. And if they don't, it could very possibly go 4-0. Not for the team I would have expected, but that's the gamble, I guess. I don't know. Tulane starts off hot once again. Okay, Ole Miss tied it up. Okay, first quarter ends 7-7. Ole Miss, Tulane tied. Don't know why I paused there. Oh, I think because I was about to say Ole Miss has possession, but I couldn't remember. There was a safety somewhere in there. Okay. Ole Miss taking control. We're up 24. They are up 24. I'm not taking sides. Ole Miss is up 24-9 going into the third. We're going into halftime. Now it's time for the third quarter. And Tulane bounces back slightly, but then they allow another touchdown. Ole Miss is up 31-16 going into the final quarter of play of game 2. It's looking like they're going to hold on to their heads a little bit here. Okay, they're looking pretty dominant right now. All right, Ole Miss is going to take game 2. After, I would say, getting humiliated in game 1, they're going to bounce back and throw way down. 37-23. All right, game 3, we're tied 1-1. So this is where, if this were real life, I would say Ole Miss comes into this game with the momentum, but tremendous opportunity to completely drop the ball. But I mean, the tremendous opportunity to drop the ball part, very accurate. However, momentum doesn't exist because these are all separate game states. Got a defensive matchup here in this one. Looks like zeros going into the second quarter. Zeros going into halftime. Wow, I don't know what to say in this situation. It's a defensive. I've been seeing turnovers happening. Oh, Tulane scores, and then Ole Miss scores. Ole Miss is up 10-7 going into the fourth. I've been seeing turnovers, and they've been happening in the red zone. The team will be driving, and then they'll stall. Maybe they're missing field goals. I'm not really sure, but Ole Miss is up 10-7 in game. They're 13-7 now. Tulane makes it 14-13. Tulane's up 17-13, and they were able to chew some clock. Tulane takes game 3. They're up 2-1 to Ole Miss. I would say the favorite. I don't know if I would say heavy favorite. They played each other in the regular season, and Ole Miss blew them out. It was also in Oxford. So much like that game 1 with Tulane, just completely dominated them. And that's not what's happening. Ole Miss is taking some body shots right now. For the record, I'm very open and welcome to an upset here. I love upsets. They're kind of like the pinnacle of college sports, the pinnacle of sports in general. For a team that nobody expected to win, to pull it out is just fantastic. I love it. It also extends the game state a little bit. Going into the first quarter, Tulane starts it off 3-0. Okay, we're looking like game 1 a little bit of shades of game 2. Tulane's up 3-0 going into the second. Ole Miss quickly scored and Tulane quickly answered. Ole Miss scores again. Tulane's got it. Ole Miss 21-13 going into halftime in this pivotal game 4. Just like the last series, we're at a point where like this one could mean either fighting for your life or owning the spotlight. Ole Miss currently up 28-13. They're owning this game right now, and we'll see if they can pull it out. They get a field goal. They get another touchdown. It's not quite the game one from Tulane, but it was tight, and then Ole Miss just ran away. So last I remember, I think it was 13-7. So they scored 38 unanswered to hold on and force. We're now forcing game 6. It's tied 2-2, and both teams have won in each stadium. Game 5, Ole Miss starts off hot, 10-0. Going into the second, it's 10-0. All right, halftime, it's 17-7 for Ole Miss. They're trying to finish this series real quick. Still 17-7. They want that shot in the playoffs. 17-10. This is the fourth. You got to tie it up. They do. They force overtime. Shoot. Change of possession. We'll do change of possession. Ole Miss scores on their first possession, like immediately. Yeah, it was a pass to DeJean's dribbling. Okay, Tulane. They get the touchdown in first overtime, and then they get a touchdown in second overtime, but fail the 2-point conversion. That should be the end of the game, right? Oh, no. Okay. Ole Miss failed their 2-point conversion after they scored in second overtime. They converted in first overtime, or third overtime. So now this is for the marbles. I apologize. I didn't know what was going on. They're going to get... oh, no, it's good. Okay. Tulane is going to convert their 2-point conversion in triple overtime. We're going to 4, baby. Tulane gets first crack at it this time. A lot of these are a lot more entertaining than I thought they would be. Honestly, I kind of wish I was watching all these games. It would just take way too long to record. They're gonna get the sack. Ole Miss takes down Jake Retzlaff, and now all they got to do is punch it in. They could not, but now they got to punch it in. Why does it look like they're in victory formation? They're in a kind of odd wishbone. Toss to the right. He's gonna get in. Ole Miss takes game 5. A quadruple overtime thriller. And Ole Miss is now up 3-2. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It can get crazy like that sometimes, you know? Game 6 in New Orleans. And Tulane is in a precarious position. Win or go home kind of situation here for Tulane. I keep flip-flopping them in my head, man. And Ole Miss is going to take a 7-0 lead into the second quarter. It's not looking good right now for Tulane. Ole Miss is just surging. They are... ooh, okay, it's going to be 21-7 going into halftime. The third quarter. This quarter, frankly, could decide this game, because if Ole Miss puts up enough points, they only put up 6, but they're up 20 with 1 quarter remaining. I think Tulane has possession, so let's see if they can do something with it. They can't. They stall. They can't get in there. Ole Miss scores again. They score again. Ole Miss is going to take game 6, 41-7, and end Tulane's hopes of chasing a ring. I also am just now realizing that these games have each gone to a different number, or these series. Oregon JMU went 4-0. Dunzo, 4-0 sweep. Bama Oklahoma went to 5. Texas A&M Miami went to 7. Ole Miss Tulane went to 6. Wild finish either way. I think the team that everybody expected to win took the W here. But boy, did it take a fight for them to do it. And that's the end of round 1. Our quarterfinal matchups are going to be Alabama versus Indiana, Oregon versus Texas Tech, Texas A&M versus Ohio State, and Ole Miss versus Georgia. Only upset was Alabama, and I wouldn't even consider that an upset because it was the 9-8 matchup. The way that all shook out, I feel like it's anybody's game still. Like I think there's some really solid teams obviously that got first round byes, but like, man, the way Ole Miss stole some of these games, the way they dominated some of these games, the fact that Tulane took game 1 by a 49-point margin and then dropped the entire series is exactly why I'm simulating multiples of these. Because if they had won that first one, they would be moving on. And maybe that's a fair thing to do. And maybe we take a look at this without the 7-game series and see what would have happened if we took that first game win and move on. I might wrap back around to that at the end. If you want that, if you want to just go clean whatever the result of game 1 was, let me know in the comments below and I can do that. I can rejoin this tournament after game 1. I am going to continue on doing the 7-game series from this point and see what happens. But if you want to see a 1-game simulation and see what happens, I can do that. Thank you for making it this far in the video. This has been fantastic fun. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I've been a lot more excited about this than I thought I would be, to be completely honest. And it's kind of crazy how engaging just zipping bars has been. I think it's just maybe it's the dopamine hit of just seeing the number get bigger, and then knowing that tight, close numbers means tight, close game. This has been fun. This has been round 1 though. Round 2 in the mix, quarterfinals. We'll be playing those in the bowl games that they're supposed to be played in, and they're going up against top tier opponents. It's gonna be crazy. Come back for that one. Let me know in the comments what you thought, how you felt about this presentation experience, because if it's not good, I want to improve it. But for now, that's me. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate you.